Hello Stampin' friends! My name is Ayana Johnston and I am so happy to share my first card making video with you as a new Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today we are going to make this cute card with two of my favorite stamp sets. Also, to celebrate my new start as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I am offering a great first customer order deal. With your first minimum $100 retail order, I'll send you a check for $10. Wow, right? So please be sure to visit my website at www.checkthisout.stampinup.net to see some more of my creative ideas and place your first order with me. Now let's get started making this card. So to make this card, you're going to need the beautiful Watercolor Wings stamp set, and we're going to use the small butterflies, the 3-step process, and we're also going to use Awesomely Artistic. Love these two stamp sets. They're so versatile and you can make a ton of stamps. With the Awesomely Artistic, you're going to use the splotchy stamp. Then we're going to use this big flower. We're going to use a small type fern leaf flower. We're also going to use this pattern over here, this kind of rectangular shape pattern for this beautiful background that we're going to create. So let's get started. You're going to need some ink pads to use as well. You're going to need the Watermelon Wonder, the Lost Lagoon, So Saffron, and Tip Top Taupe. The pieces of paper that you're going to need in the colors are going to be Watermelon Wonder. You're going to need to cut that at 5.5 by 8.5, score it at 4 1/4. You'll need a piece of Tip Top Taupe, cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. You'll also need a piece of Lost Lagoon, cut at 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. Then you'll need some sheets of Whisper White. You're going to want to get a sheet of Whisper White cut at 3 inches by 5 1/4, and then another one cut at 1.5 by 5 1/4. And also, if you like to do the insides of your cards, you're going to want to get another piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 4 1/4 or 4 inches by 5 1/4. You'll also need some scrap pieces of paper. You're going to need a scrap piece of paper, Whisper White, Lost Lagoon, and Watermelon Wonder. You'll need one piece of Watermelon Wonder lace ribbon, which I absolutely love. I love the bright, bold colors. You'll need about 6 inches for your card. So, now that we have all the supplies, let's get started stamping our butterflies. So we're going to use Watermelon Wonder for our butterfly, and we're also going to use Lost Lagoon. And in this 3-step process, the thing I love is I can create more than one look with one stamp set. But for this tutorial, I'm going to use 2 stamp sets. So for the first part of my card, I'm going to stamp using the Watercolor Wonder. I'm going to stamp off twice, and then I'm going to stamp on my white scrap piece of paper. I like the really soft look. I'm going to do that one more time because I need 2 butterflies, and I'm going to stamp right below. Then I'm going to take my next layer and I will go ahead and stamp that in the Watercolor Wonder again, but I'm going to just stamp off once this time. Then I'm going to line it up, stamp on my butterfly. I'll do the same thing with my second one. Line that up and just stamp right on. I love the photopolymers because you can clearly see what you're doing. Then I'm going to take the Lost Lagoon and stamp the outside of my butterfly. And I'm going to stamp that bright bold color right on there so it sticks out. Once I'm done with that, I will run these through my Big Shot with the butterfly Thinlit. And I've already done that to save some time. And we have our 2 butterflies. I'm going to set those aside, and then what I want to do is take one of my scrap pieces of paper, Lost Lagoon, and my scrap pieces of paper, Watermelon Wonder. I'm going to want to run my other butterfly Thinlit through the Big Shot. I run it back and forth 4 times so it gets all the detail in there and punches out really nicely. And in the effort to save time, I've also pre-cut those as well. So we have those set. Now what I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment. I love the thank you from the tin of cards, and I had to use this big block because I used all my smaller blocks. I'm going to just use my Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to stamp thank you right in the middle of that card. Then I'm going to take my scallop punch And I'm going to punch out my thank you. Once I center that like so, and I'm going to punch that out. Now I have all my pieces set. Now I'm going to put these to the side, and then I'm going to open all my stamp sets so we can go ahead and create that nice background that you see the butterflies on in the card. I'm going to take my piece of Whisper White that is cut at 3 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to start to stamp my pattern. The first thing I'm going to do is take my So Saffron with this nice rectangular pattern, and I'm going to just stamp it at an angle on my card. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see any of the mistakes once you go ahead and put the rest of our background on here. You just need to eye it just a little bit and just keep stamping. I like this because it creates a nice soft background with the So Saffron, and it adds some nice texture to my card. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said, and you can never really see any imperfections once you're done. That's all I need to do with that first stamp. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take my Tip Top Taupe, and I like to stamp it on this particular way, but it's all up to you, whatever works best for you. And then I'm going to just stamp it directly in the middle, off to the side just a little bit, that big flower. Just like so. Next, I'm going to take my splotches, my splotch stamp, and I'm going to take the So Saffron. I like a splash of color all over. So I'm going to just keep stamping my So Saffron all over. Then next, I'm going to take my Stampin' Scrub, which you can't see in the video, but I'm just scrubbing off the stamp to get that off. And I'm going to use Watermelon Wonder. I love the splash of color that these add. And it's a quick splash of color. Then I'm going to take the Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to do the same thing. It just adds some nice splashes of color to go with all the colors we're putting on this card. Then I'm going to take this nice little fern, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it with Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to just make a nice border right around the edge here. And the nice thing, again, it doesn't quite matter how you put it on there, it looks beautiful either way. You just kind of want to edge it around and then put it on the corners, as so. And I'm just using my Stampin' Scrub and getting those off there. Now that's all there is to this wonderful background piece of paper that we created. Now we're all done for stamping, so I'm going to close my stamps and get these out of the way. I also don't want to get stamp on my fingers and my arms and hands. I'm good at doing that. Now I'm going to put this card together. I'm going to fold my Watermelon Wonder. You can use a bold folder, whatever works for you. Right now I'm just eyeing it in my video. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my 1.5 piece of Whisper White and my ribbon from the Watermelon Wonder color. I'm going to go ahead and use some snail adhesive, and then I'm going to tape this down with showing just a little bit of the scallop border at the edge of the Whisper White. It really brings out the color. The white piece of paper actually brings out the color of the Watermelon Wonder. You'll see that this looks a lot better than just placing it right on the Tip Top Taupe. And I actually have just a little excess there, so I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and I'm going to snip some of that off, just like so. Then I'm going to take this sheet of paper and I'm going to adhere this to the Tip Top Taupe using my snail adhesive. Let me use that right side up, have that upside down. Goodness, Yana. Then I'm going to go ahead and place that on my card with just about 1/4 inch left so you can see some of the Tip Top Taupe. Next, I'm going to take this pattern sheet of paper that we used with some snail adhesive and adhere this to the Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to center this, and you're going to see probably about 1/8 of an inch of the Lost Lagoon. So it kind of pops that color out, and we're going to center that in there. And we're going to tape this piece, adhere this piece to our Tip Top Taupe piece with the Watermelon Wonder lace. And on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave the same amount of edge over here that I did on this side. And I'm going to adhere that down, and then I'm going to take some more snail adhesive, And I'm going to put this, adhere this to the Watermelon Wonder card. I tend to always want to get things so exact, but really you can't tell most of the time. So there we go, we have that piece on. Now I'm going to adhere my butterflies. I'm going to adhere those with glue dots. The first butterfly layer with my glue dot, I'm going to adhere to the stamp, 3-set stamp butterfly. If I would get a piece of glue dot on it, I should have been able to recognize that, but now just adhere it on like that. And I'm also going to do that with my green butterfly. I'm going to adhere that onto my stamped set. Then I'm also going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to put those on the back of my sentiment. Once I figure out where I want to place these butterflies, I could go ahead and look at my card, but the nice thing is, if I don't look, everybody's different. Everybody's going to place things just a little slightly different than one person or the next, which gives our card that uniqueness. So with the glue dots, I'm going to place these just like so here and here. And then with my Stampin' Dimensionals, I'm going to take off the sticky backing and I'm going to place this on a diagonal. I like the diagonal look. It's totally up to you. It's whatever your preference is. Then just to bling it up just a little bit, I'm going to take some wonderful rhinestones here and make my butterfly really shine. Place those on here like so. Take another set. I really just love the fact that these add just a nice wow factor. And then I'm going to add one more thing, a little bit more bling on my thank you. And there you have it. Check it out. Isn't it cute? I just love how this card turned out, and I can't wait to show you more of my great ideas. If you'd like to stamp the inside on this card, you can go ahead and do that. I already pre-did this. I did the blotches with the little kind of fern there, and then I did a butterfly. So you can take the inside of your card and put that in there and stamp that just like so. I like to leave my thank yous blank so I can write whatever I like in them. So, I hope you enjoyed making this card as much as I did. Please visit my blog at www.checkthisout.stampinup.net to see more of my creative ideas. You'll be able to see the supply list on my website as well. And first customers get that great deal, $10 check in the mail with a $100 retail order. I hope you'll come and visit, and please be sure to check out more of my videos. Thank you very much. Happy stamping!